This cat didn't bite to kill. It bit to take a fist-sized chunk of living flesh, gone in one bite. No throat hold, no suffocation, just a wound the size of a dinner plate and prey in shock within seconds. For 20 years after we dug it up, no one knew this animal existed. We found it by accident, then we got it completely wrong. Here's the problem. Every cat that ever lived, your tabby, a lion, even Smilodon, kills the same way. Canines in the throat, a suffocating hold, patience. Most documentaries chase Smilodon's fangs. I think this cat's mouth is the more disturbing story, and almost nobody tells it. Xenosmilus broke the rule. The whole front of its jaw wasn't a set of tools, it was one curved blade. A predator built like a bear, with a mouth like a cookie cutter. How a cat got a face like that lay buried in a Florida swamp. Picture it. Florida heat, 1981. Fossil hunters hacking limestone from the Hale mines in Alachua County. A pit so thick with pig-like peccary bones, they called it hog heaven. Then, two collectors hit something better. Two near-complete saber cat skeletons. They figured they had two animals, a saber-toothed skull, a dirk-toothed body. They were wrong. Only in the late 1990s, when Virginia Naples and Larry Martin studied the bones, did the truth land. Not two cats, one, and nothing like it had ever been named.
So what had they found? Start with the body, because for a cat, it makes no sense. Lion-sized, but shaped like a bear. Heavy, flat-footed, short, thick limbs packed with muscle. Naples called it the sumo wrestler of big cats. Its shoulders swung the forelimbs out sideways. Its forearm rotated farther than any living cat's, built to seize, twist, and pin. Picture a giant panda that hunted for a living. No sprinter chasing prey across open ground, a wrestler built to hold. And no cat that holds its prey should kill the way this one did. Here's what Naples and Martin saw up close. The skull was small for a saber cat, about 13 inches, but the teeth were a nightmare. Curved upper fangs, 3.5 inches long, and unlike any other saber-toothed cat, the serrations weren't just on the fangs. Every tooth was serrated, edge to edge. Naples said it best, a whole mouthful of steak knives. But the real shock was an absence. Most cats have a gap between the front incisors and the canines. In Xenosmilus, that gap was gone. Incisors and canines fused into one continuous semicircular cutting edge, the whole front of the mouth a single blade. And that explained how it killed. Why Florida? 1 million years ago, this wasn't beach and highway. It was dense forest, swamp, and scrub, thick with cover. The same ground you'd drive across today was prowled by ground sloths, car-sized glyptodons, and herds of peccaries, wild pig-like animals moving in groups. That cover is the whole story. A short-limbed wrestler can't outrun anything. In tangled forest, it doesn't have to. To the peccaries, the trees were shelter. To Xenosmilus, a blind, and the herd, a buffet. It didn't need speed. It needed 3 steps and surprise. Now put it together. The ambush, the grip, the blade. Larry Martin's reconstruction. Xenosmilus bursts from cover, pins a peccary with those of wrestler's forelimbs, and drives the whole front of its mouth in at once. Not a throat bite, one closing of that semicircular blade, carving out a fist-sized piece of flesh. One bite. In Martin's model, the prey bleeds into shock in about 10 seconds. I'll be honest, I don't fully buy bite once and wait. A predator that releases dying prey loses dinner, and some researchers think it just held on and kept cutting. But the verdict's the same. This wasn't a second-rate lion. It was a third way to build a saber-toothed killer. And then it was gone. Xenosmilus left no descendants. No living cat carries that mouth. Most extinctions on this channel come with a catastrophe. This one didn't. The cause is still debated, but the leading idea is quieter.
As Florida's forests thinned and the peccary herds shifted, an ambush specialist that needed both ran out of cover and prey. A predator that perfect was that fragile. Today, the only place to meet one is a glass case at the Florida Museum of Natural History, jaws open, the bladed mouth frozen mid-bite. Stand there long enough, and a darker question creeps in. What if it hadn't vanished? Every fossil like this breaks a rule we thought was fixed, that all cats kill the same way. The Heil mines gave up one impossible predator. The rock still holds the rest. Million-year journey uncovers a new one every week. Picture it loose in a Florida swamp tonight, lion-sized, bear-built, one bite that lifts a fist of flesh, and 10 seconds for the body to fail. Nature ran that experiment once. Be glad it stopped.